we'll get into some questions. If you guys have questions, just like leave them. I'll probably like explain some stuff. I'm not exactly sure what we're gonna do for this live call. I mean, we're kind of waiting for FanPlace infrastructure to roll out. Um, I don't vape. I just smoke these. I try not to inhale them, but I know some of it gets in my lungs. I like shisha once in a while or cigars and stuff. Yeah, so basically, as a business, I mean, last month we did put in a new all-time high. I think it was like a 5 or 6% gross revenue increase month over month from December, which is actually pretty good considering January is, sometimes maybe a little bit slower because people spend a lot in the Christmas season. They spend a lot, right? And so then they end up being broke because they're off for 2 or 3 weeks during the holidays. They come back to work, but then they're not getting paid for 2 or 3 weeks. And lo and behold, we had a record day, like an all-time high day for the business a couple days ago. And what are the odds that that's like literally on the exact day that people got paid from their business? I mean, it's not a coincidence, right? They got paid, and then what happens? They spend their money, right? And so, we kind of are heavily orientated around like the pay schedules of just regular people. This isn't a business that you're making money off like whales, right? Like sometimes people they have like sales jobs or whatever, and they're trying to target like very specific customers. I mean, we're not really in that. Of course, sometimes you find whales and people that end up spending a lot of money, but generally, like they're just normal dudes, paycheck to paycheck kind of guys, right? So, the fact that we had an all-time high month in January, I think is very good. We also saw, what I predicted would happen in December, which was kind of like bans and flags and just all of these problems. In January, on Meta, I mean, obviously a lot of our traffic comes from Meta-based platforms. I keep recommending that people try different platforms and kind of diversify off of that. I think that's a good idea, but I understand that it's not the easiest thing for people to accomplish, right? I mean, it requires a lot of, systemization and scaling, and we're going to chat a little bit about that in this call to discuss maybe some ways that you guys didn't think about organizing yourself and using some tools that I've been meaning to make education about. I have it all listed out. We just keep getting really busy with all this like infrastructure. And so I'm going to show you some of the infrastructure that we do use to scale pages. So that's basically coming up. So the fact that we still made all-time highs, considering, we didn't, we had all these problems with Meta and all this stuff, I think that's very good for the business. My guess is that we're kind of in like a consolidation period. Like I like to look at the business like a stock chart or Bitcoin or whatever, and try to like ask myself like where are we in the grand scheme of this like bull market, right? Like I view the business as like one long bull market. We're just making higher highs and higher lows, right? And sometimes you kind of got to consolidate in a bull market before you're ready for the next move up. Now sometimes you consolidate before a move down. I don't think that way. I always like to think positive. And so I think we're kind of consolidating right now for the next move up. And I think the next move up is going to be when all this new infrastructure rolls out, and that's going to be really exciting. It's going to take me some time once I get access to the front end UI, which will be probably in the not too distant future. I know I've been saying this for a while, but it's like a really, really big update. It's not like a small one. And it's not just what you guys have access to, it's also stuff on my end, allowing me to scale my business more, stuff on FanPlace's end so we can have better application flow. Because right now, like our application flow is kind of a little bit pathetic, to be honest. I know that we've like scaled a pretty large business. Like my business will do like, I don't know, like 25 to 50 million probably this year, maybe 50 to 100 if some good things happen in the second half of the year. But like even considering that, it's still pathetic, like how bad our application flow is. So many things are going to improve. So if you've been here since the beginning, you'll see the progress as we kind of scale out the business. And right now we've kind of hit like an infrastructure gap where like we can't scale that much further unless we do a significant update, which is basically what's in progress. It's going to be very good. So patience will pay off. And so basically my plan for that is to roll out like a massive education update accounting for the new technology, right? Like we're going to have to constantly update the education every time new things are available. We've been doing that. It's not just me now doing the education. There are several people that are now doing the education. Muharrem, Justin will be coming on to the education soon. A lot of you guys probably don't know who Justin is, but he'll be coming on to the education soon. And Nikki will probably make some videos as well. And then, of course, myself. And we'll be teaching you how to use all of these new tools and giving you new ideas. There'll be a bunch of bounties around that. The reason I launched the bounties is like to encourage people to kind of branch out, let's say, into new ideas and new social media opportunities, and to encourage people to try things, right? It's like at the end of the day, there's a lot of opportunity on social media, and people kind of like stick to the same thing over and over because they see other people doing it, which is good in one regard. But in the other regard, it's like, maybe you should try something a little bit newer once in a while, right? And so the bounties are there to say, hey, this is a new opportunity that I really think can make a lot of money. Here's a little extra bonus, give it a try. if you complete one of those bounties, the money you get from the bounties is kind of like insignificant because you're going to make so much on the fan play side, but it is a little extra incentive. We're also going to launch kind of like more than just like a one-time bounty, if that makes sense, where it's like it'll be every time someone like achieves this goal, we'll give like a $200 bonus, just so you guys have like more incentive and we can give back to you guys for actually producing high quality value that will obviously benefit us as well, right? So I thought about in the past doing like a kind of like a leaderboard system, but I decided not to do that. Just because I think it was caused too many headaches. I think that this is a better way to achieve the same goal. Additionally, the bounties are always going to be centered around social media based things because, as I've said many times, that's where the value is actually being built in the business. Everyone that's making money, for example, Davino posted in the Wins chat that he had a crazy month. I can confirm that because I literally see all the numbers for everyone in the whole business. He had a crazy month again in January, a crazy month in December. It's just been like kind of scaling up for him. And at the end of the day, like the reason he makes so much money is because he's very successful on social media. He has massive pages that he's extremely consistent with. He's scaling out all of his brands. He posts high quality content every single day for those pages, and they're just going viral, bringing huge amounts of traffic. Now, he does have really good monetization systems, but at the end of the day, it doesn't mean jack unless he has the traffic. He's got both, right? So what happens? Makes a fuck ton of money, a fuck ton of money. It's crazy. So, anyways, we'll get into the questions a little bit, and then we'll see if more people join. It seems to be a low participant rate. It's kind of crazy to me because like I feel like the Q and A's offer like the most value by far. And I went and kind of like reviewed a lot of the Q and A's um, over the course of like the last year. Basically, we've been doing this for over a year now, these Q and A's. And to me, when I review people's social media accounts, the quality of the accounts have significantly increased. And the people that I'm seeing that increased quality from, like they're clearly in all of these Q and A's, asking the questions, showing me their accounts, like doing all of these things. And so when people don't join them, I just question that uh, a lot, basically. So it is what it is. If you don't have an ad budget, what's the best platforms? I would say TikTok and Instagram and I would say Twitter as well. I would say those three are the best ones. You don't need to spend money on ads to go viral on any of these platforms, but it will help you kind of kickstart your business. So I'm not sure like what your situation is personally, like where you're from or whatever, but we recommend even like $2 a day on Instagram can actually make like a pretty big initial impact on your page. That's not that much money, but if you can't afford that, then I would say, posting on TikTok with like a proper funnel set up over to Instagram, over to Twitter, and then obviously to Telegram to move traffic over, and then just focusing on your organic growth on Instagram and then on Twitter, you're going to want to do like comment replies and stuff like that. And that'll probably give you a good shot to grow, even if you don't have an ad budget. So many people have grown pages without ad budgets. Someone this month, I think their Instagram now has like roughly like 60K on it, but they made a lot of money from it. Like they're doing like 1 to 2,000 per day on FanPlace because it's a well-built brand and it has good audience demographics and it's bringing in a lot of people that want to spend on the creator. They ran that page from zero with no ads. And so they grew it from zero to 60K. And now they're doing like this month, they'll probably do like in February, maybe like 30 to 40K, I would guess on their model. Last month, I think they did like 15K, but it's because it kind of took off in like the second half of the month, and then the numbers significantly increased. Um, so that's just an example, and it's totally possible. I'll look at those pages afterwards, but what I would say is on Instagram specifically, the bigger your page gets, like the more non-premium you're gonna get. Like there's just no way around it. It doesn't mean that it's like this like death sentence to your page. It just means that, you probably want to consider moving some traffic to a new page. How I would do that personally is not through your bio or anything. I would do it through your landing page because on your landing page, you can actually geo block. And then basically, okay, only premium traffic is moving to the second page. The second page will grow, it'll go viral. The same process. You'll have strong premium audience for the beginning growth process. And then as it scales out, the percentage of premium will consistently drop over time. There's no big creator in the world that doesn't experience this. It's just part of the game. And so you do your best to kind of reach premium audiences, but it kind of is what it is. There isn't like this magic pill to kind of switch it up. What I would say is that if you start new theme pages for your creator, and those theme pages are like, something that's very clearly like heavy US based, right? You're probably going to get a lot of US audience. For example, if you have a good variation of one of these college girls, which I'm seeing more people make like college girl pages, but it seems that they're using, I don't know who's like teaching them to do this, but like they're using like this super fucking shitty, like free AI software. It's complete. dog shit. Like it's so bad. But like they're still getting views and probably making like a little bit of money. But I just look at that and I'm like, if someone took our models, which are a million times better than that, and applied the college girl theme, they could probably make a shit ton of money. Like if you took one of your goth girls or one of these like chubby girls and you made her like a gymnast, that's like never been done before, you know? And now you're gonna fucking blow up in American-based audiences because those are generally people interested in that, specific demographic. The reason the goths make so much money is because generally speaking, the goth theme is something that's really primarily interested for the American audience. You know what I mean? Like it's a big thing in America. It's not really like as big of a thing in all these other non-premium countries. The same thing is true for dwarf creators, by the way. And so, which is why we did it, right? But if you go look at some of these other ones, for example, you've seen like some of these like very like dark skin, kind of like I think they're like meant to be like African girls or whatever, and they've gone very viral. They're not making any money. We know that because we literally spoke to the number one person, like the biggest guy with all that stuff, doesn't make jack, you know? The reason he doesn't make anything is because the demographic that's going to follow that page, it's just all non-premium. They also don't have anything to sell like on their back end. And so, there's just no money in it, right? So like people that have pages with us that have like 50K followers compared to their page that has like a million, the 50K followers are making way more because the people actually want to spend on that type of girl. So when you build a brand, it doesn't actually matter like the specific look of the model in most situations. What matters is that you construct a brand that someone would actually want to spend money on, right? Ask yourself that. Like, if you were a simp, like if you were in their position, which I know this is a hard practice because I'm assuming most of you are not out there fucking spending money to jerk off on AI porn, you know? But if you were that person, you know what I mean? Would you spend money on your girl? Ask yourself that. And like, if the answer is no, honestly, then you need to reconsider your brand. The reason I recommend all these different themes is because there's a lot of people out there that will be interested in those different themes, and you can make a lot of money from it if you're consistent with it. So that's kind of a long-winded answer, but I hope that helps. The answer to that is no, Epstein, and I don't recommend doing that. Now, obviously, like on FanPlays, we have like emails and stuff, and we're able to kind of retarget users through that system. But doing that on your own is a bad idea. Number one, SMS marketing is like a heavily regulated thing, and so you can't really like do that. I don't know how else to explain it, but it's easy to just be like, oh, I'll just like collect all these like phone numbers and I'll just start fucking firing text messages to dudes. Like I'm telling you, you're gonna get flagged 100%. Like a bunch of shit is gonna go down. You're gonna get banned, et cetera, et cetera. Like it's just not a thing that exists in the adult space because there used to be heavy, heavy, heavy text-based marketing, and like the US government and like all these governments completely regulate the shit out of it, which is why nobody does it, if you noticed. And there's a reason we recommend Telegram because guys move to Telegram, and then there's low risk of ban of your Telegram account, but you could still execute on things like Cupid Sub, and so or sorry, Cupid Bot, which generates subs. So I would recommend just doing that. If you have no money, basically I would use photos on TikTok and I would post photos. Many people have gotten very viral on TikTok with photos, and I would still funnel them to Telegram, but I would message them yourself on Telegram and I would learn how to finesse the guys yourself. That's number one. Number two, I would still run an Instagram page, but I would just post photos, but I would like capture my traffic on that page until I'm ready to post reels. And when I do post reels, I would make sure I get like the highest quality possible video if that's all the money I have. And I would basically post that, and I would still post reels, even if I only can post like two per week, I would still post them. And then the basically after that I would do Twitter, and I would post photos on Twitter to try to get reach, but I would also do comment replies with the photos, and try to get reach through that, and again move them to Telegram and finesse them yourself if you can't even afford the Cupid bot. That's basically what I would do. And then once you can afford the Cupid bot, I would set that up. And then once you can afford reels, I would be consistent with your reels, but I would try to make the highest quality reels and then repurpose them effectively through like TikTok and Instagram and Twitter and all these different platforms. That's what I would do. You don't need a ton of money to do this, but you got to grind it out, right? It's like if you have no money, then your resource is your time, right? Because if you have all this time, then I'm assuming you have no money. If you have money, then you probably don't have that much time. And so that's why people that have money, they buy back their time. That's what I do, right? I take my money and I invest it in situations so I can make more of it without spending as much time on certain things. For example, hire a marketing person or hire an influencer or, hire support staff, right? Like we have a great support team. One of them is in there, Des, right now, right? It's like we have a support team because I don't have the time to sit there, so I have to spend my money to do it, right? So if you have no money, it must mean you have a lot of time, right? So you got to go use that time and grind it out. That's what I would recommend doing. Also, in the education, we have something called the Brokey course. I would recommend watching that course. You could make Super Bowl themed stuff, but I'm not sure if it's gonna like magically go super viral. Like the American based audience stuff is more about like a holistic theme or brand that I think would do well. You know, like for example, a college girl or goth girl or some girl that works in like an office. There's like fitness girl type things that you could do, which have done extremely well with American audience. There's all kinds of different brands. I mean, cosplay is another one that I just don't really see that many people doing. But like, there's these unbelievable girls on social media, massive fucking brands that have so much good content that you could literally just copy for your model pretty damn easily and just run a page and you're probably going to go viral, you know? And so it just, when I see that kind of stuff, I'm just like, why don't more people just do that, right? A secondary point is like, I notice a lot like people are pretty good now at, okay, this went viral, I should use that video then, but they don't like keep using it over and over again. I just think it's a mistake, like it just, I really feel like people should be posting more. If something is viral, like they should be giving it like multiple shots on their page, right? If it does even decent at all, try again, like try a few times, like it's not going to nuke your page. It's not going to nuke your followers, right? Your followers, they're basically worthless. I mean, you can go look. I have a video coming up for this for the Twitter algorithm. Basically, like you could just go learn the whole Twitter algorithm by using Claude or ChatGPT. I recommend Claude. I think it's the best one. But basically you could just copy their GitHub and like paste it into like the link into Claude and just like have it like explain the Twitter algorithm. But like one of the things it literally says is like they don't care at all about your followers. They only care about what's actually like interesting for the FYP on like any given day is basically what they say. And like you're not going to reach your followers in most situations. They don't give a fuck. They just want like viral current things that are going on a day-to-day basis on Twitter, right? That's true for basically all the platforms. You know what I mean? So like when you're dumping out videos, like you're gaining these huge amount of followers, like people get all like they get their, super excited about the followers, but it doesn't really matter. What matters is the reach, right? There's a reason the big girls like they cap out at a certain amount of followers, but they're reaching huge amounts of people. People are seeing the brand, but they're not necessarily following the brand. That doesn't mean anything's wrong with that, right? Many people are following brands without actually following the brand. They're just getting constantly shilled in the FYP, right? In the reels or whatever on any of the platforms. That's where you need to be constantly hitting people. And eventually, what happens? They're like, who the fuck is this girl? They click, and then that leads to some percentage of them subscribing or following your brand and then subscribing. That's how it works, right? You're just increasing your odds. So if something's super viral and you post it once, you could post that same thing 10 fucking times. It's not going to make any difference to your current page. It's just going to increase your visibility to more people. That's what actually, like, fundamentally, that's what actually matters. So I've just been explaining this like a million times now, and I'm not going to stop. I follow this guy. Maybe some of you know in the crypto world, Benjamin Cowan. He's like super smart. I mean, he's like 100% like the number one person to listen to for financial like investing advice. Not like trading shitcoins. I don't care about that stuff. That's like I couldn't care less. But actually like high level understanding of the markets with a focus on crypto, but all markets. And like he basically been like posting the same videos for years. I've been following him for 5 years now. And that was the best decision I ever made. Like I'm not like associated with him. He's just really smart. But like it's literally been the same shit for years, and there's still value in it. And he has to hammer home the same thing over and over and over and over again. And then eventually the people who are following him, they learn, right? I've been fortunate enough to like been with him for a long time. So like I've been able to understand from an early on like point of view, like, okay, this is what he means when he says this, right? But like the point is that he keeps saying the same things because there is nothing else to say. Like there is no additional magic sauce, right? Over time, we'll have new tech, new this, new that, so we can post higher quality content. But the reality is, like the volume right now, most people are not taking enough advantage of it. Like there's one guy that we have basically in the whole community, and he posts like 40 times a day on Instagram and he's printing, he's literally printing money. Now, is the quality on like any given video maybe a little bit less than stuff that some of the other people are posting? Sure, sure, but he's getting a shit ton of reach, and over time, I would argue that the quality of his content is actually increasing over time, because he's able to use the new tools and the new technology. So to me, we're in this new regime where volume is going to match quality, which has never before seen in the history of social media. There's always kind of been a trade-off, but now you don't really need that trade-off anymore, which is exactly where the value proposition of the AI creators are, right? And so like you have to take advantage of it. Like if you have a big fucking page, you can run that page up if you catch the right trend from like 100K to 500K to a million quick. And I've seen it many times. And once you get that million follower page, you're set. Like your model's going to make 20 to 30K minimum per month forever. And that's on the low end. If she's shit at monetizing, if the monetization is good, it's 50 to 100K per month forever. All it takes is one good video that you need to copy a bunch of times to run it up. So why not give yourself that chance? You know what I mean? I just don't see people giving themselves the chance enough. So I'm gonna keep saying it over and over. I don't care how many times people hear it from me. It's the truth. Yeah, we tried the keep it on Facebook Messenger thing already with like spending ads for DMs. I already went down that rabbit hole. It does work, but the problem is that you can get banned really easily. Number one, on the ad spend. Number two, like, for having too many like chats going on in the messenger, like there's like a million different reasons you can get banned. It's very finicky. So what I would say is like if you have a really good method for like production of Facebook pages, number one, if you do, message me because we can do some business together. But number two, if you somehow have a really good method for the production of Facebook pages and you want to do some of this stuff, then go for it. But I would say, generally speaking, I would just run the pages with like reels, and I think it's going to lead to a higher quality result, and then funnel through the profile on Facebook over to Telegram. I think that's going to lead to a higher net result over time. Those Facebook pages are worth a lot, especially when you can kind of move the traffic between the Facebook and the Instagram and the Facebook, and kind of grow them simultaneously. It's a winning formula. I'm telling you guys, I've seen it many times. And so, like, in your position, you have to ask yourself, like, what's a better system to do? Everyone always is looking for kind of like this, like, black hat, like quick hit marketing strategy. Oh, I can just spend money on this. Trust me, I've looked down that rabbit hole many times over the last few years. Many, many times. I've figured out many of them successfully, but I always come back to this idea of like building the high quality brands is the best thing that you can possibly do for the long term of the business. Every person that we have that has become extremely successful, that has been with us now, like, Davino has been with us for like a year. This isn't like it's like a new thing. It's been a year. Do you think that anything's going to change this year? No. And by the end of this year, it'll be 2 years, and like, like it'll be years of him printing money, executing the same strategy because he built high quality brands. And now that he's done that, we can give him more models and he can just run more high quality brands over and over and over again. What I'm saying is, if you really, really want to do that and you have a good system for the production of Facebook pages, then go for it. If you don't, then I would recommend against it. I would protect your Facebook pages by posting safe content as I recommend in the education. And I would just run them as if, they're like Facebook pages for your actual models brands, in my opinion. For Asian, I mean, I was talking to someone else about this today, and we were going to offer him like a black creator in like a specific niche. They already have one, but we are going to offer another one. And I think that the mistake that people make is that they like get in their head about like like I think that like you have an Asian girl, like you should just figure out like what the like top performing monetization like theme is for like American audience and then just apply it to your Asian girl, right? So like you could have a goth Asian page, and you can have an office girl Asian page, and you can have a gym girl Asian page, and you can have a college girl Asian page. It's not just about one theme for your brand. You have an Asian girl, and then you have multiple sub themes for the same model, right? So now you can have 5 or 6 Instagram pages all with a unique theme, right? There's nothing wrong with this. Like whenever I tell people this, like the first thing they're like, well, what do I do on fan place then? Aren't the guys going to be like, what's this? Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody cares. Nobody cares at all. Don't worry about that. You're getting in your head about something that doesn't exist. Okay. Nobody fucking cares. The only thing they care about is that your model is hot, and all you have to care about is getting more visibility. I wrote this in one of the chats. I'm not sure if it was like the 1K plus chat or whatever, but I'll just say it here. Basically, what you're doing on social media is you're fishing, right? I used to go fishing when I was younger with my dad. We used to go fishing. And when we would go fishing, we used to run multiple lines per person, right? So we would have like 2 or 3 fishing rods for myself and 2 or 3 fishing rods for him on the other side of the boat. And we would increase our odds of success by doing that. Maybe we would have different lures on each of the fishing rods. You know what I mean? Even if we didn't, and we were fishing with a strategy that we thought was good, having 4 or 6 rods in the water was a significantly higher probability of catching a fish than having 2 rods in the water. Basic math, okay? What you're doing on social media is all you're doing is fishing. Every single page you have is just a new rod, okay? Every single post you make is just a new cast, right? You got to give yourself a higher probability of bringing guys in by increasing the amount of rods you have, right? You're going fishing, right? Another thing, we would only fish in one lake, but imagine like somehow you could have a body double fishing simultaneously in a secondary lake. Your odds of catching a fish go up again, right? Every new theme you have is a new lake basically that you can fish in, or a new pond, whatever, right? You have Goth, right? That's a gigantic fucking pond of potential subscribers or fish that you could catch, right? But it is still an encapsulated closed pond, right? Maybe people are slowly converting to being interested in the goth niche, but it is at the end of the day its own niche, which generally has a group of people that are interested. Now, sometimes there are crossover, right? And people could be interested in different niches simultaneously, but generally people kind of like what they like, right? There could be another pond for fit girls and another pond for the office girl niche and another pond for fat girls. And sometimes there can be a crossover between the population of subscribers that you're getting from each of these, different themes. But generally speaking, they're different and they're capped, right? So you can grow a lot in the goth girl pond, right? You can grow a lot on social media on that. But at the end of the day, once you reach a certain point of virality, mostly everyone that is interested in that niche knows who you are. Even if you only have 500K or 600K, when you're getting 5, 6, 7 million reach per month on Instagram, the people who need to know about you, they know about you. It's just about constantly reaching them over and over again so they can eventually convert over, right? Just because someone sees you doesn't mean they're going to subscribe right away. Maybe they're broke, right? Maybe they're infatuated with some other fucking goth girl at that period of time. Maybe they have a girlfriend, right? Maybe whatever the fuck the situation is, a month from now, it could be different. That's why you keep posting because the guy might come back, right? But if you go and take that same girl and you expose her to the gym girl niche, you've just exposed yourself to an entirely new set of fish that you can now potentially catch, right? The same thing is true for the office girl. The same thing is true for the college girl niche, right? What you need to do is give yourself the highest probability that your model is seen by everybody, right? The best girls in the world have 20 fucking Instagrams, all with different themes, running, dumping content so they can maximize their potential reach, right? Now, having 20 different pages with the same content is not necessarily the same effect, right? Because there's kind of like a diminishing return to that, right? Meaning we could be on a boat fishing, me and my dad, but if we have 20 fucking lines out, it might kind of cause some problems. They might start tangling the lines. You see what I'm saying? The lines will start tangling with each other. And what I mean by that is that you're now competing against yourself for the same reach. And we went through this process because I literally designed a whole fucking system to run 100 Instagrams. I'm like, we'll just run 100 pages. And it doesn't work that way, right? There's a limit to how much reach you can actually achieve in any of these individual niches, which is why I keep recommending spread your brand out across these different theme pages, right? Have goth girl Asian, whatever. Have fit girl Asian. Have office girl Asian. Have bar girl Asian. Have gymnast girl Asian. Have college, whatever the fuck. Have all these different pages funneling to the single fan place account. You will reach a way larger demographic of people and give yourself a way better chance of making money. Okay. Now, is this the easiest thing to do? No. But spoiler alert, we've thought about this on the fan play side. The infrastructure to allow you guys to achieve this at scale, with volume, with high quality is coming. Okay. It's coming. So prepare mentally for it because you're going to be able to do it. And if you're not doing it, you're going to fall behind to the market probably over the course of the next 2 to 3 months. Okay. Most people who are not running fan place models, in my opinion, once our new infrastructure launches and the education launches, they are going to fall behind because there is no technology in the world that is going to be able to compete with us for this space. Hopefully, my little rant there makes some sense. What about running multiple threads account with proxies for US customers? You could do that. I mean, threads is like the lowest quality traffic and the least amount of people actually coming into fan plays through my landing page tracking is coming from threads. It doesn't mean don't do it. Like you can for sure try to do it, but I just think putting effort into other socials makes more sense, like Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, and then using threads is like a secondary, right? It's connected to your Instagram, so just auto posts and you're gonna get some traffic from that. But you could try that. I've never tried it personally on like ads power with proxies or whatever. I mean, generally everyone that I've heard that have had success scaling threads, they've used basically like just phones at scale. So the next level, Cope, is to transition to actually high quality content. I mean, like you got to actually start posting good reels and better content quality and build a higher quality brand, right? Like the comment reply strategy works, but the problem is that it's maybe not the highest quality for the actual development of your brand. Yeah, I mean, I think that you could post 10 times a day. I think you could post 15 times a day, Vakarsi. Like there's no reason to say that you can't, right? You could post on, five on one page and five on another page and five on, like you need to post a lot, right? Like you really need to get as much visibility as you possibly can for your model. Of course, I'm not saying post shit content, but if you go look at the best pages, right? Like a lot of them are just posting like these dancing videos now and they're fucking printing. I mean, like the guy Davino, I mean, like his page, it posts like I would say like 4 to 5 times per day. with like high quality outfits. Usually it's like the same outfit and he makes like 4 or 5 versions of reels with that outfit and then just dumps it all out there and then it just goes viral. And then once in a while he hits one that performs better and he's growing roughly like 5 to 10K per day doing that strategy. Now he has a second IG, which is starting to go viral as well. And then he's reposting like and basically recirculating like the best proven winners over and over again, once or twice per week. And then reusing like the same trends that are proven to work just over and over again with different outfits or even sometimes the same outfits. It's very a simple strategy, but like I just think a lot of people like go and make like 2 videos and then they post it and they're like, okay, I'm done. Why am I not rich? What's wrong with this, Steven? Like fucking go make another Instagram post 20 times, like there's no limit to what you can actually do with your day to day. Alex, I'm not sure if he's in the chat right now, but like he runs a big brand and he's posted in the community about like some large social media growth that he's had. He posts a fuck ton of times across a lot of different accounts. He's out there grinding. He has a ton of pages and phones, and he's the one making the content. I don't think he even has significant teams, but he's grinding like crazy. The people that are doing the best have invested money into editors and content teams to scale out their brands and run many pages. And now they have that, across several different creators, right? That's where the big money is. Exactly, Cope. Yeah. So I would say like each theme should be like an Instagram, a Twitter, a Facebook, a TikTok, all for that theme, all connected. So then the person that comes in on any of those pages, they get connected through your entire network for that theme, which allows you to grow more, give you a higher chance of catching a fish basically in that exact niche. Hopefully that makes sense. I would say like after a week or two, Snake, I think that the main thing is like the type of content. Like you just can't go super crazy. I mean, the best accounts we have been grown with relatively safe content, I would say, and they're just not taking crazy risk. So the more risk you take, obviously you can go more viral, but it doesn't even necessarily mean that like this like magical growth is going to come, right? It just, the consistency with quality content is generally what I've seen has done the best. Um, how many subs per day required for chatting? Probably like 3 to 5, I would say per day is good, maybe even a little bit less. We have like a long list of people that we are going to reach out to because we do audits ourselves. Like there's a ton of people that are basically like averaging trash numbers in terms of dollar per sub. And like you would just make more money if you used our chatter. So like we're going to reach out to you. If you're watching this and we end up messaging you, like I would just sign up for it because like you're probably gonna make more money and it's not gonna like cost you anything. Like we have people like they're bringing a lot of traffic, they're getting like $18 a sub. It's complete dog shit. Like guaranteed, if like probably, I'm not gonna say guarantees, probably if you use our chatters, you're probably gonna see like a $30 to $40 sub. And even if you have to give us like a cut of that, it's gonna make you more money over the long run by a lot. So anyways, it's also gonna free up your time so you can focus on socials, all of these things. So if you're watching this, we end up reaching out to you, either myself or Tristan or through our support on the marketplace, then that's the deal. So just letting you guys know in advance. So what I would say with FanPlace, like when people ask like, okay, well, I'm gonna run all these themes, what do I do on FanPlace? Just incorporate like a photo here or there of that theme, right? Every 4 or 5 photos, post a college girl, post a goth girl one, post a this, post a that, just so the people watching it, they see it, right? Everyone's gonna like it. She's looking hot on FanPlace. Nobody's gonna cause a problem. You know what I mean? But the guy that subscribed for that, they're like, oh shit, I like that college girl stuff. He ends up messaging you, whatever, right? It doesn't need to be like this whole thing where just post nice content and the guys will be there supporting you for it, right? They understand that it's marketing stuff as well. It's part of the game. That's a good question about the scheduling tools. 1 second, get my water. So for a long time, I recommended using Launchpad, which you could still use, and then um, I would not do the racist stream girlfriend thing. I mean, I think you're probably going to get banned most likely. And then if you're going to do it, like I would just do it in a smart way. Like don't go over the top. Um, just don't go over the top, basically. You're going to want to like be smart and like make it kind of more like a meme style. I wouldn't put her in any crazy outfits or anything like that. But I would also say like you got to really be careful about like this one thing like went viral one time and then you're going to like hop on it. It's like it just sometimes it's best not to worry about that and look at the bigger picture of like what's been viral for a long period of time, right? Like who are the girls that have been printing for fucking 5 years? It's like what are they doing, right? That's what I would probably consider. So yeah, anyways, that's my opinion on that. I wouldn't get like, shiny object syndrome. I mean, if you did that, then you would just be copying a bunch of stuff that does not even making any money, right? Like you can go look on social media. There's like I saw a girl with like 2 heads. Like, do you really think she's making that much money? I think less than you think. Like I think that's always the case. Like just because someone's going viral doesn't mean that they're making money, right? Like who the fuck is going to spend money on that? It's obviously AI. They probably have no good content to sell. I just don't really believe that tons of people are going to come in and just start spending, right? Like the value is building a brand that's like believable, is real, that guys want to come and actually spend money on, which is why like we've never delved into like any of these weird niches. Like, don't you think that if we thought there was money in it, we would do it? Ask yourself that. You know what I mean? Like, do you really think that we're stupid after all that we've done? You know, we did 8 figures last year. I made a shit ton of money, like millions of dollars, literally net. Like, do you really think we wouldn't do that if we thought there was huge money in it? The things we recommend to do are the things that we believe and know are what make the most money, right? So that's what I would say. Do dwarves or goths monetize better on average? I would say roughly 1 to 1, but honestly, on average, I think goths actually make more money just because it's easier for people to build like a successful brand with the goths. But if you get the dwarfs right, they make way more, but that's hard to do. So certain dwarfs can make way more money, but generally, I would say goths on average for the average person will make more money. But on a dollar per sub, they're very similar, right around like $45 to $50 per sub. Yeah, I mean the Athena Curse guy. I mean that guy. I know him personally. He's a good guy, and he has done quite well. And he has multiple models that he's scaled out and lots of audience. He's grinding. Like people don't see that. Like he fucking literally sits there, posts like 40 counts a day by himself every day, runs all the content himself. So I mean, there's a lot of grinding that goes on in that. Um, but I do think it's a good method to scale. I mean, he's done quite well. He also has like a really good model though. Like Athena is like basically like a perfect looking goth girl that has blown up and she's making, good money, of course. Um, so anyways, it is a good system. So I've explained basically like what I think is a good strategy. It's because like we don't really want people coming in and like just scrolling forever and just seeing like a bunch of paid shit. Like they gotta get to the content that they're paying for. It's a bad user experience. Ulrich, you asked about that. All right, you guys can see my screen, right? Just let me know in the chat just to make sure that you can see everything. I think you guys should use this tool. I have like a course coming out that goes over this. It's like more than just this, but like basically, um, I believe this tool can be used to like mass scale social media accounts, and you're still going to get reach. It's not going to cause any problems. This is like an account that I'm using, which is just we're kind of using it for like our internal marketing for the business. We've started, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but like we've started scaling out pages um, to bring in more traffic because, internally, like we'd like to get to like, 20 or, 20,000-ish active creators this year, which will probably be worth 100 to 200 million per year in revenue at least, maybe more. But that's roughly like our goal as a business. And it's going to lead, we need a lot of traffic to come in. And so anyways, what you can do is you can connect all your social media pages to Publer. It does cost money. I'm not affiliated with it. Like I don't give a fuck about affiliate links. I just believe that this site is worth it. I thought about building my own version of this. I can do it if I wanted to. The problem is that you kind of have to like have a connection with like Meta and all these social medias through API. And like Publer is like a whitelisted one. Like they know what Publer is. It's been around for a long time. We've used it for a long time across all the platforms, especially Facebook. It works very well. Confirmed 100% vouch. This will work for Facebook. You can connect your Facebook pages to it and schedule as much content as you want. There is some trade-offs and downsides to it, which we'll go over. But I think you can use it for Instagram. I think you can use it for TikTok. I think you can use it for Twitter. I think you can use it for YouTube, which I have the $1,000 YouTube bounty. You can literally just make a fucking YouTube with Gmail, connect your YouTube to this, and just mass schedule all your content onto YouTube. Probably one of you guys is just going to go banana viral on YouTube and get an extra free $1,000 from me just for doing this. It's really simple. It doesn't cost that much. My plan, we can go look at my plan. Let's have a look and see. We literally try to upgrade my plan. So we have 3 members on here, which does cost money. And I have 13 social media accounts and I have a business plan, not a professional. I use the business just because it has more insights and stuff. I don't really think it matters that much. And it costs me $93 per month. If I didn't have the members, you could see it would be 87 per month for 13 accounts. I mean, 13 accounts is a lot of accounts, right? If you like went down and you did like 5 accounts, it would be 38 bucks a month. Or I think professional would probably has everything that you would need, and that's only 22 bucks. So it's really not that expensive. And this is for someone that's like, hey, I want to scale on my pages. How do I do that? So you have to connect your accounts to here, right? How do you do that? You just click connect, and then you're going to want to do professional via Instagram. There's different trade-offs. Like if you do the Facebook version, then you can do collaborators and products and all these things. but it needs to be connected to a Facebook page. And I actually recommend against connecting your Instagram to a Facebook page. The reason I recommend against that is because what ends up happening is you start cross posting all your shit on Instagram over to Facebook. And when you do that, the stuff that you post on Instagram can, theoretically be slightly sexier or more sexual than when you post to Facebook. And you might increase your chance of getting banned on Facebook, which will fuck your Instagram. And so you should have a Facebook and you should have an Instagram. You should send traffic between the two of them, but they shouldn't be connected. And so if that's the case, that means you're going to have to do this. Now, that means you basically can't do collaborations and products unless you do it directly on your phone. There's like, a couple other like things that you can't do, but like generally speaking, you can do everything you need from here. And then if there's all these like little extra things, for example, like account status checks, you need to check on your actual device, or if you use ads power or whatever it is, I'll get into that in a second. So all the extra things, these little minor details, you need the account for, okay? But for the big stuff, mass scheduling of posts, etc., and more, which I'm going to show you how to do, you can use Publer, okay? And so the same thing is true for TikTok, for connecting your accounts, for Facebook, for Twitter, for YouTube, blah, blah, blah. They have these other ones too. I'm not sure what you can do on Telegram. I don't know. Blue Sky. I mean, honestly, people should just be on that app and just like posting because there's probably traffic on it, but whatever. You can do Threads. I think Threads would work fine as well. I don't even know what Mastodon is, but whatever. You can do these other ones also. Generally, like we've only tested these, they work fine. Okay. There's no issue with getting reach. That's not a thing. There's this whole rhetoric that like if you post with like an API or a scheduler, you're not going to go viral, blah, blah, blah. It's all fucking bullshit. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is that your account is in good standing, you're not flagged, and you're posting viral content. Those are the three things that matter. If your account health is fucked, or you're flagged, or you're posting shit content, then you're not going to go viral, right? So what I think happens is a lot of people, they like set up their accounts with this and they start posting trash. They don't go viral. They're like, oh, it doesn't work because of that. That's not true. Okay. So you got to add your social accounts. Now, I'm not going to show you my members, but you saw I had 3 members. It's because I own the workspace, but my team that works for me, they're working on it. So if you want to have VAs, what you can do is you can add VAs to this and you can give them specific access to certain social medias. I'll actually show you. I don't even give a fuck. So you can basically invite a member as an admin, an editor, a client, whatever. Let's say you make them an admin, right? You could send their email, whatever. Let's say you make them an editor. You could send their email, whatever. Here's an example of someone that's Nikki. You guys know Nikki. I could edit their social accounts, right? So you could see here we have all these accounts that Nikki has access to. If I only want to have a VA have access to 5 accounts because that's what I'm paying them for, then they don't have access to everything else. So your whole network could be connected to this, right? And you could have VA teams added on that you're obviously going to have to pay for. And each of those VA teams, each VA could have access to certain accounts and nothing else. Pretty good, right? You're asking, well, how do I scale VAs? How do I organize it? This is how you organize it. Okay. You could also give them different like basically access, like full posting access, like whatever it is, all of these things. You can adjust that and you can give them certain permissions, is what it's called, permissions, which by the way, permissions when you build into a website is a fucking nightmare to do, not the point. Now, there's more, right? This is a very good tool. In the media section, you can see here we have some media because we've been scaling out. This is for like ads for the business, right? You could see here that we have different folders of media. So for example, like Check, he's someone that is an influencer for the brand. You could see all the content that we're using here is there and it's in his specific folder. So you could have folders for your models. You could have folders for different pages. You could have folders for different whatever, right? You can organize your content however you want, right? Now, what you can also do is you could filter by video, by photo, and you could see, okay, I want to find photos for this model because that's what we have to schedule. You could filter. You can also filter by usage. So if the content has been used by you on Publer, right? Means you schedule it on Publer. You could see what's already been used. So let's say you post something, it goes viral. You could just sort by used and you can reschedule that same post on another account and it'll just automatically post again. It's another way that you can use it, right? You can upload your content here by adding new file, folder, whatever it is, keep it organized. So my marketing team that is now scaling out, Nikki's like assistant, she's helping with everything. My marketing team is using this to scale out our operations. And like eventually we're going to have dozens and dozens of pages running and posting and all of this stuff. It's not some fucking guy sitting there like posting. Now, we do have the accounts initially on a phone, right? And so you have to have the pages secured on a phone first. For YouTube, you don't have to. For YouTube, you could just use like Gmail, whatever on your computer. It's a lot simpler, right? But for things like Twitter, you probably should use a phone, although you don't have to on Twitter. For Instagram, you for sure need a fucking phone, 100%. Facebook, I probably recommend a phone. I think it's probably for the best, but you don't necessarily need it. Threads, it's connected to Instagram anyways. And then what else is there? TikTok, need a phone for TikTok. Now, what I recommend doing, okay, is using ads power. If you don't know what ads power is, we can just have quick Google. This is ads power. It's an anti-detect browser. If you don't know how to use this, literally go to YouTube. How do I use ads power? Magic, groundbreaking stuff. It'll teach you, okay? Essentially, TLDR. What Ads Power allows you to do is have different browsers, which are like completely separate of each other, on their own custom proxies that you can host your social medias on. If this is confusing for you, all it means is that when you open each of those browsers, the social media believes it's its own thing on its own specific internet. So they're not connected to each other, right? So if you have 100 fucking phones for all your social medias, but you don't want to have to go through all your phones, what you can do is you can organize all of them through Ads Power, right? If they're organized through Ads Power, again, you can create folders, you can do all of these things on Ads Power to keep yourself organized the same way that you can do on Publer. That's where you can access your account and you can do 95 to 98% of things that you need to do on the phone through the computer. So now you never have to be on your phone. Now, for some things, it requires phone access. So don't be lazy, handle it on your phone, right? So again, I recommend having a Google Pixel with graphene that allows you 20 different, basically like phones within that one phone. You separate your socials. You connect those socials to Publer, you organize it on Publer. You add each of those socials on a proxy to Ads Power. Now you can manage most of everything on your business directly through the computer. You never need to access the phone ever again unless there's some micro things that need to be done on the phone. So for efficiency purposes, this allows you to be extremely efficient while still securing your account. Let's go back to Publer. On Publer, you can see analytics. Okay, so you can literally see what posts are doing well over different time frames. Last week, this year, this month, last 90 days, custom time frames, right? You can sort by social medias. For example, this is the AI Creator Marketplace one. Oh, okay, this video is doing well over what time frame, right? Let's see over the course of the last 28 days. Okay, well, these videos, it's not a big account, like we just started it. But anyways, you'll be able to see what videos are performing well, also with photos across all your social medias, right? If something is performing well, number one, you're able to see it here. You could literally, okay, this is doing well. Maybe I should replicate it again, right? Instead of you having to go and search through all your social medias, you have one place now where you could see all this data, right? Again, like I'm not associated with this, but I think this is a pretty good tool. I could build this myself, but it would cost me a lot of money and there's no point. Just use them. They're better than what I could build and they already exist right now for you. If you're not literally, you should go fucking sign up while you're watching the video. Just go do it. Like it's just a good use of your money. You can organize all your so you could see all your insights here, right? Is this video doing well? Is this post doing well? What accounts are doing well? Okay. You have an overview of your social media growth. So still track everything on the marketplace, right? But you could see growth here, right? You could see view growth, engagement growth, reach growth, all these different things, blah, 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 whatever, right? Lots of stuff that you could see. So, anyways, this is through all my social medias. You can also see the countries, right? The demographics for who's actually following the pages. So you can see like we're getting primarily US audience reach on all of these pages. There's more. So let's say you go to a post, you sort by that post, right? And you're like, okay, well, this one's doing really well. What you can do is you can click on the post, right? So you can see it. This is me yapping about mentorships on a podcast that's about to come out. You can see here, you can reuse the post. So what happens if you click that? Now you have a format. What I could do is I could click literally every single account that I have. I could set the caption for it and I could post it as a reel on every single account that I have. Or let's say I only want to post it on these two accounts. It'll automatically schedule the post and post for me exactly this again. So you get a viral, you could literally just automatically reuse the viral in one button click. No more having to sit there and upload and do all this stuff. You want to share the post to your story because it did well, share it to your story, right? Boom, you could just share this to your story. Pretty useful, I would say. right? You can also share the post, right? Okay, well, I want this shared on all these different profiles. I want it retweeted, whatever, on Twitter. Boom, you can do that. Pretty useful. There's more. The calendar. This is where everything is organized. Okay. And so you could see here that you could sort by the time frame. You could see here we have a full slate of things that are scheduled out. I'm going to hope that you're going to see a ton of stuff scheduled. You could see here my posting teams are scheduling everything because that's what I pay them to do. You could schedule everything for your page. So you're having struggles posting 3, 4 times because you're doing it on your phone. You could just schedule all of it here. Everything's scheduled with the exact caption that you want, posted at the exact time that you want, right? You could sort by account and you could see, okay, this marketplace account has all this content being posted every single day, right? You could see the weekly view, you could see the monthly view for the content, right? You could see here, okay, this is where we're running out of content, all right? So let's say I wanted to add a post. What do? I click plus. So click or drag and drop media. So look, I can go and I can select the media from my library, right? So I can go to my library, which is where we organize all of the content, and I can choose the content from that specific model and I can schedule the content out, right? I can choose to make it a post, a reel, a story. I can add all my different, caption, whatever I want to add, I can add. You can also have an auto share button, which basically means like if this post does well, you'll automatically share it to other accounts. This is a little bit more complex. I wouldn't worry about this. I would just focus on the scheduling of content at scale using this tool. And so I think that this is a pretty valuable tool. You could schedule content extremely efficiently. Your VA teams, if you train them properly, will be able to do all of their work in here. You mass produce the content, you get it uploaded and organized efficiently. They go and they post. You teach them how to execute the scheduling of all the content, etc. So now, if you have a good content team, your content team produces the content. They move it over to the basically the page management team. The page management team uploads the content, organizes the content, make sure the content is scheduled, and then what do? High level overview. You direct, right? Okay, this is the content I want you to make. This is what's viral now. Make more of this content. Hey, this is going viral on this page. I need you to reshare this content and reuse it across these pages. If you see something that you want to do, you can hop in and make those adjustments at scale by analyzing the data. This is what a high level operation would actually look like, right? I don't sit there and fucking do stuff anymore. We move efficiently. We scale efficiently. This team does this. This team does this. I have a high level overview of everything. If you look at my entire business, this is all I do. There are thousands of people in the community. How did I organize it efficiently? Ask yourself that because I thought about the systems that have to go into it, right? Okay, if everyone follows these instructions and does things this way, and then I can go and be the person that figures out the high level overview of what actually makes money for everyone and direct them in those directions. If you go look at all the pages, they're running exactly how I systemize it needs to be done, and people are making money as a result of it. This is the next stage of that. Okay, I've been practicing this for a while. We've been testing it internally. I have a whole other profile that has like 50 pages on it that is being run for the models that we've tested that have we gone viral many times, right? So this isn't just being tested here. We have a whole other thing that's being run for models right now using this across all the social medias, and it's working effectively. Caveats. Number one, if you already have a proven viral Instagram page or Facebook page or Twitter page or TikTok page, whatever the fuck it is, don't put it on this. Keep doing whatever you're doing, okay? This is like the old adage. If you're making money with something, don't fuck with it, you know? If like we have a business and people at the beginning were like, well, why don't you charge for it? And why don't you do this? I'm like, fuck all of that stuff. We have a proven business. It's making money. This is what we're going to keep doing. And that's it, right? And we're going to do it till it's boring, till we have it perfectly systemized, until it's maximum scaled out. And we're not going to change it when that happens, right? Sometimes businesses, they hit their peak. It is what it is. The same thing is true for your social media. You have a system, don't fuck with it. But for future growth, for your new pages, work on it with this, okay? Scale your business through this. If after a while you feel comfortable moving your existing large pages into this, then that's your decision. But those are assets. Those are assets that potentially are worth a lot, making you 10, 15, 20, 50, 100K per month. Do I recommend fucking with those assets? That's where things get a little shady. You know what I mean? And so you have to decide that. My personal recommendation, if you have a big page that's making you a lot of money, don't fuck with it. If your pages are small, 10K, 20K, 30K, 40K, 50K, whatever, or they're secondary pages to your main page, add them on this, become more efficient, learn how to scale your business through this, and you can make way more money by being way more efficient. Ask yourself, the guy that's posting 50 times a day, how is he doing that? You really think he's sitting there fucking going like this? No, of course not. He's scheduling everything directly through this tool, okay? Everything that you possibly need with this tool I just showed you, you need to go and organize your system, set it all up to be effective. What I recommend doing is doing it yourself first and then scaling it out with people. How did I learn how to do this? I fucked with it myself first. I brought people on, I taught them how to do it. Honestly, the people that are organizing this, they're way better at organizing and doing the stuff than I am, right? I'm terrible at like, being like efficient day to day with like posting stuff. I'm the worst of all time with that because I have turbo ADHD, right? I would literally get bored in 5 seconds and just like go do something completely different, That's not how my brain works. But what I am good at is figuring out the system and scaling that system effectively, then putting the right people in place, right? I'm literally the definition of a CEO founder type, right? That's what I do. So everything around me that's working for the business, technically other people are doing. Does that mean it's bad? No, that's how a fucking business works. I pay them to do it, right? That's their job. So they execute on it. And I put them in that position because they're good at it, right? And so for you as a person, losing the control of the day to day is the most important thing. You have to lose that control while having more input on what actually goes on, the creative direction, right? The content, right? It doesn't mean you need to sit there and do it. It means that you need to be responsible for having the highest quality content while paying others to do it. You hire a VA, he does a shit job, he fixes it or he fucks off. That's simple. We're extremely hard on them. Now, in terms of scaling, how much I would spend on all of this, whatever, you could break it down. When people hire VAs, they spend way too much money. My marketing guy, I just brought him on. He's like a younger guy, he's a smart guy. But he was like, basically, like, I'll explain the situation. Like, he was an agency for us. I was like, how much to just like fuck off from your agency and just work with our company full time to scale our offer? Like, fuck your agency. How much to just do this full time? He set a price. I wrote a check. That's simple. Sometimes life is that simple, but he was charging way too much money on a per video basis. And I said, listen, when you come on, there's no more profiting on that video basis, right? And it turns out he wasn't even profiting. He was getting scammed by the VAs. Now they were charging an absurd amount. I said, okay, everything stops. I'm like, everything stops until we get the price to come down. Now, this is how you actually manage VAs. I've done this for years. I know for sure that it works. The key is a salary on a per week basis with fines if they don't do well, with rewards if they do extraordinarily well, and with a certain amount that they're required to do. So let's say hypothetically you have a VA who's going to produce content for you and you agree to pay him $100 per week. The key, number one, is you agree that this is for 7 days of work. There are no days off. Okay. I don't believe in days off, right? Now, if the VA comes to you and says, sir, I need Sunday off, blah, 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 whatever. If you feel he's the right person to work with you, then fine. But there's a reduction in how much they get paid, right? Their pay is for work. It's not for days off, right? $100 a week is for 7 days of work, not 6 days of work, right? If they miss days for any reason, sick days, days off, whatever the fuck the reason is, you do not pay them. Okay. This isn't for fun. This is real money, right? You have to take it serious as a business owner. Okay. And so you fine them for mistakes. Now, that could be, for example, if they're content production teams, mistakes in the quality of content, right? Missing days, not delivering a certain amount of work. Now, at a certain point, you have to fire them, but sometimes things happen. It doesn't matter. You have a quality that you expect. You have an agreed upon amount that you're paying them for a certain amount of work. So you fine them for mistakes. How much? That's up to you. You reward them for success, right? So the $100 a week is for 7 days of work, and that is correlated to a certain amount of expected work they are required to do. You never, ever, 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 ever pay hourly for a VA. If you do that, just imagine me slapping you in the face. Don't ever fucking do that. I'm telling you, it's the dumbest thing ever. They will scam you for your time. You're gonna have to use time trackers and all of this bullshit. Fuck all of that. Don't ever do it. Trust me. Do this instead. I promise it's the right thing to do. You pay them an agreed upon salary. There's a certain amount of work attached to that. Okay, you have to make 10 videos per day to earn this $100 per week. You miss a day of work, $10 deduction. You are under that 100 videos per week or whatever the number is, $10 deduction, whatever it is. The videos are not of quality on a certain day. deduction on a per video basis. What this will do is it will train them to be at a certain level of productivity for you. They will now know what your expectation is and they will get better over time. You will train them up, right? That's what the best people do. They hire VA teams, they train them up to their level of their business, and you're the one directing that. So you need to be the guy that says, hey, no, this is how we do things. It needs to be better. Do it or you're gone. It's literally that simple. This is the price we pay. Do it or you're gone. Now, over time, you will find extremely high quality VAs. What do you do with those extremely high quality VAs? You promote them and you use them to train new VAs. Okay. Now, you're not training the new VA. You train the initial one. You are managing the initial one and he's training new ones and you're rewarding him for that. You're paying him for that. We've done this for years. It works 100%. The second you have one, you can have 10. Right? The key is you need to be smart enough and efficient enough to train that first VA. Okay. Now, when they're successful, for example, in this situation, this is content production. So for videos, you could reward them in different ways per view basis, right? The amount of videos they actually produce, whatever. You could give them a bonus. Hey, this is how many subs my model brought in. We will give you this much bonus for every extra sub, whatever, every sub, whatever per week, whatever you want to do. Reward them for your success. This is true across the board. You could have content production teams under this. You can have content posting teams under this, right? And so now you know exactly the productivity you're going to get for the price. And all you do is scale that out. Okay, I'm spending $300 per week. That $300 per week covers this, this, and this. And this is what I'm getting out of those $300 per week. That's my cost going into the business. I have my chatter cost now. I have this cost. This is my net profit. This is literally how a business is run. Okay. You're not going to get scammed in this regard. It'll allow you to actually scale your business. So for those who are ready to do this, this is what you need to do. You need to go find good VAs. Now, rules for hiring VAs: hire fast, fire fast. Ultimate rule number one, most important rule. If the person is not useful immediately for you, get rid of them, find a new one. They're unlimited out there. They all want to work. Okay. Number one. Number two, test them early with an example task that replicates what you need them to do. So for what we did is, basically my marketing guy came in and I was like, okay, well, how much? I'm like, we're not paying anyone that. This is what you need to do. What I told him is, I'm like, for all these different video productions that we're trying to do, we have podcast type clips, we have AI slop type clips, we have all these different types of editing for short form content so we could scale out our marketing operation. I said, create a test for each version of that. So when you find that potential VA, he says, yes, sir, I'm ready to work, sir, blah, blah, blah. You say, okay, here's your document. Here's your folder. Show me you know exactly what the fuck to do. You have 20 minutes. Not all day, not tomorrow, not 5 hours. You have 20 minutes. Do it right now. Think about it. They have no job. They're hungry to work. Okay, so you want the job? Go do it right now. There is no tomorrow. There is no delay. If they are useful in 20 minutes, you are going to see proof of them being useful. At that point, you say, okay, you're hired. Here's the next step. And you have that planned next step for them. You put them through it. They complete that. You give them the next task, right? And you scale that until you reach the maximum point of what that VA is capable to do. There you go. That's your productivity limit for that VA. Some of them become manager level. Some of them become higher than that, right? Some of them are just meant to make their $80 or $100 a week doing their task. And we've had VAs that have literally done the same $100 a week task for fucking 3 years. For 3 years, doing the same shit, $100 a week for 3 years. And they're happy about it, right? That's their job. There's nothing wrong with that, right? It's your job to put them in that position to be successful for your business. And that's simple. Not everyone is meant to do something spectacular, and that's okay, right? All you need to do is figure out, okay, what is this person actually fundamentally worth? What can they achieve? And put them in that position to be successful with that. For me as a person, that's one of my best skill sets, is finding out what someone's talent level is and putting them in a position to be successful for that. That's it. The person will tell you what they're capable of, not the other way around, right? And they'll do it with their actions, not their voice. Whatever they say doesn't mean jack. What do you actually do? Right? The only reason I'm in this position, I have no university degree. I have no nothing, I was given an opportunity and I just kept proving myself over and over again. So clearly my ability was a lot higher and I kept putting myself in that position. And the more I scale, it's entirely up to me to show that I'm capable of being worth more, right? It's literally that simple. The truth is, it's the same for all of you guys, right? This is how you hire VAs. This is how you scale out these VAs. If you really want to make a lot of money, you're going to take this seriously because this is exactly what to do. I can't give you like the exact SOP because I don't know what you need for your business. How you structure it is up to you, right? Everyone that's doing well has done some version of this. I've trained many people to hire VAs using this exact system. I promise I'm spitting crazy game here. I'm giving it for free, you know? And so this will probably be like clipped and turned into a YouTube video or whatever. So anyways, little rant over. I'll come back to the chat now. Yeah, what I would do is I would pay for it and own the like the logins and then just give them access to the tech, whatever it is, Kling or whatever you're using. But eventually, I really think that a lot of this is going to move to FanPlace. Like I feel extremely confident in saying that. And so, I would say that at some point there's going to, have access to your FanPlace account and probably like permissions on FanPlace will account for this. If you guys want for me to do social media reviews, now's the time. I'll do some now. So post your social medias and I'll go and have a look at some. I see that you're using the link.me landing pages. Vakarsi, by the way, we're about to launch our own version of the link.me landing pages for free to everyone on tap for all my links. It's going to be out like this coming week. It's done already. We're just producing the education for the marketplace. So now you're going to be able to make your own version of that if you want to use it as a landing page, literally identical. The same things where it'll have like the scrolling of all the social medias. It'll show like your total followers on there. The whole thing, like literally exactly the same, completely customizable. I don't really know how their tech works, but like you can customize the colors, the whole thing, everything completely customizable. Um, It'll be built in. We're calling it the lunar landing page variation. So now we have standard, we have orbit, and we have lunar. So it's pretty cool. So if people are interested in using it, you'll be able to share your page now. Honestly, I have no idea if it's going to lead to increased conversions. Um, I don't really know it makes that much of a difference, to be honest. But anyways, if people want to use it, they can use it. I think this model looks pretty good. I mean, she looks so real. I mean, I haven't clicked on any of the videos, but I mean, you should just post this version again. I mean, it's literally fucking going viral right now. Printing. I just think like volume with this model, and you're going to do extremely well. I don't know if she's like converting or what the deal is. This is too sexual. I think it's too risky to have it like this, to be honest with you. This is probably fine, to be honest, but I think this is a little too risky. I would probably change this. It's a nice photo, obviously, but I would probably consider changing it. Also, like I think that the like her boobs just look like way smaller in a lot of these, and I don't know if that's intentional, but what I would do is I would run a lot of the like switches between like this outfits and um like the more open ones. I'll show you an example. I posted this in the community, but like this page, I know the guy running this, he's killing it. But like he's just been posting this version of this video like over and over. See how she's like kind of in like a covered outfit, and then he got 9.4 million on this one. I posted in the community. He just keeps posting it and it's printing. So, I mean, I would consider running that on your model, the Natalie model, just because I think that, obviously they have like, similarities and I would consider doing that. I think that like the branding that you're going for is really good here. I guess this is like your goth girl version of the Natalie vlogs. I know that you were running a lot of stuff with threads in the past, so I'm glad to see that you're transitioning out of that. I think that you need to just post a lot more, and I think this page is going to do well. I noticed there's no story live. I'm not sure if that's because I'm on the thing, but you got to have a story live 24/7 with just like a photo with like a link. I'm telling you, it makes a really big difference. I would also say that like posts, like photos and stuff, like just it adds to the quality of the feed. Like I think that it's worth doing. And so, I would consider turning some of these into like photos or carousels and just dumping them out there. You're going to get reach from it. Some of them can go viral, but of course, the reels are the primary value. Overall, I think this page will go viral. So I would just continue doing what you're doing. Um, this is an interesting page. Like I just think that like she looks great though. This is like you're copying the Kira Paggietto girl. I think you're doing a great job with what you're doing and making good content. I just think that it needs maybe like a little more branding. I think that she has like a good like this is like I'm like a 19-year-old girl that from like America type of thing, but like why not just add like where she's from in America and like the American flag to the bio? Why not add her age, right? Why not, have like a bunch of photos that are like classic like American college girl photos. I'm not saying of her in like a college, but like bikinis or whatever, just like doing stuff out that like college girls would do to add to the brand aesthetic. Again, you need a story live. I also think that it's worth adding, other social medias to this, like Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, like whatever your other socials. I think it's worth adding it as part of your landing page, in my opinion. But again, like this one is probably safer than your Natalie Vox one. Again, overall, like I think the content is good, and like clearly you're starting to get like virals and making good dancing content, whatever. And I would just like completely like triple, mega double down on this. I mean, like you have this interesting version where she kind of leans closer, and then it ends up doing extremely well. Like why not just Omega triple down on this, Like I'm not sure if you posted it again. It seems that you did here, but like just, really hammer it home, posted here, you got a viral again. So clearly you've like found a method to like make this girl explode. But I think the overall brand could use improvement. This is like similar to this. It seems like you're going viral with it. I really like her hairstyle with this. I think so. I think it looks good. Like overall, I think you're doing a really good job of just kind of like getting content up that's good and going viral, etc. But again, like the same thing, like, is she American? Where is she from? This is like a perfect look. Like, why not just like make her like a college girl and have that branding, built into the brand? And like, she can be from California. I saw someone with like UCLA as like the college girl. Like, why not just like add that in and just make it more exciting and make guys feel like she's literally in fucking college? And like, there's so much stuff that you could do with that. So I think it just like takes the brand to the next level. Like, this is obviously really good and it'll go viral and do well. And I'm not saying stop posting on this page. I'm like, start a new page. College girl Aisha, could do well, right? UCLA graduating this year, whatever the fuck it is. UCLA 19, don't tell my dad, or like don't tell the dean or whatever the fuck, like something along those lines. The photos can be like her around campus. Like the quality of this model is so much better than these like other college girls I've seen that are shit, fucking shit quality using these garbage free tools. It's trash. It's a million times better. There's so much stuff that you can do with that, in my opinion. That's like the next elevation of this, right? It's like, how do you get the branding better to get better monetization, right? So overall, I think you're doing a really good job here, and I would continue, and I would guess that all of these pages go significantly more viral. But I also think that there's room for improvement, which is where you go from like this girl, I don't know how much she makes, but like you're gonna do for sure like 5 to 10K eventually to get to like 30 to 50K. Like that's the next step, in my opinion. That's good. You're using YouTube. I like to see that. Well, you're at 1,000 views. I mean, fuck. Look at this. You're already getting tons of views. Keep posting, right? Like I know that it's growing slowly, but I mean, it's like, what's wrong with that, right? Like, I'm not sure what you're using. Who is this? Adrian. Are you using publer or what are you doing? I like that you have like a proper bio here. I think that's very important. With X, I mean, here's like a tip for X. I talked about the new algorithm update. So it says in the update that like one of the things they value the most is engagement, but not just engagement, threads under your post immediately after posting. So the people that are doing the best are like posting something that's like generating a lot of engagement and then replying to all of that engagement very early on in the posting cycle, the first hour, 2 hours, and then X sees that and they start pushing it out to more people. They want that engagement. And so I think that a lot of models like they're just missing out on that. Like they're posting and then it's not getting comments. And then when it does get comments, they don't like reply to those comments. I know it doesn't seem like much, but like early on, like growing these brands, like you really need to get stuff that is going to go viral. And then you got to reply to that. But I think you're doing a good job here. TikTok is looking good, growing it. This to the guy that was asking about like TikTok. I mean, you could see he's mostly posting photos on the TikTok and it's still growing pretty nicely. I can't see the Facebook because I'm not logged in. I think I saw this page previously and I thought it was going to be a really good page. And I think that even more now. I think you're doing a really good job um, with like this cosplay brand. And like I would say that if you want to take it to the next level, like why not start like a goth brand for Natalie too? Right now she could be like a goth cosplay girl, right? Or just a goth, right? Like, you could have like a theme page where she's like in college and doing cosplays while in college as well. And like have like a fun theme about that. Like there's ways to expand, but I think you're doing fantastic. I'm not sure what the monetization is on this. I don't remember, but you're probably starting to make money. And I think like holistically, your brand is looking very good. And I would guess that like as our new tech rolls out, you're going to continue to like go more and more viral. So I think that you're doing a really good job here. Um, and I commend your efforts. So I would just continue doing what you're doing and just like double down on the quality of the content and the effort you're putting into it day to day. But like clearly there's a huge amount of effort going into it. And I respect that. So very good job. That's an example of like a very good story. Um, This is what I was talking about, Vicarsi, like that you were missing on your page. A lot of monetization comes from doing stuff like this. You just can't go too sexual, no ass. This is probably fine, but just you have to be very careful with what you're posting. But this is exactly what you're supposed to do. So good job, Adrian. Keep doing what you're doing. You're gonna do quite well. Oh, this is the soccer page that I saw previously. I guess it's going more viral now. I remember seeing your page, Luke. I hope it's monetizing for you. Honestly, I have no idea like the numbers. There's just so many models making money these days that it's hard for me to know. I know like the top ones, but she looks great. I feel like you should be posting more. Like it doesn't seem like there's that much content on the page. So I mean, I strongly recommend posting more, just getting a lot more content up, but I really like what you're doing and I would be curious to know the demographics of this page, but like if the demographics are good, then I think you have a winning formula here that I would do. And I think you could build like a really big brand around this. And a ton of people like Arsenal related will follow you. And I would try to like spread that out to the other social medias, right? Like you're gonna want to get on Twitter. It seems like you're doing that. Let's see what this is. Oh, fantastic. You got two of them. This is perfect. And your TikTok is growing slowly. I would get on Twitter as well. And what I would do is I would go on Twitter. I would start engaging with like the Arsenal accounts and like get on Arsenal Twitter. Like there's for sure like some fucking Arsenal Twitter or whatever thing. I would get on that and I would basically go and start engaging with all of those posts, quoting the posts, commenting on the posts, like just full blown. And then all these guys are going to start funneling to you. Brand yourself, Arsenal girl Yara, whatever. Like Arsenal fan Yara Arsenal, whatever the fuck, like one of these like branded names on Twitter and start engaging with the content. And all these guys that are Arsenal guys are gonna be like, oh shit, move into that. The stuff that's happening day to day, I'm gonna assume that you're an Arsenal fan or you probably wouldn't have done this. Comment on it. There's trades or signings. I don't really know how European soccer, whatever works, like all this stuff, but Premier League shit, whatever, if they suck, everything that's Arsenal related you should be on. I know that there's like a guy on YouTube that like does like they're like Arsenal like after the game he goes and interviews like these like British hooligan guys that are like Arsenal fans that are like screaming in the parking lot or whatever. I used to watch those. I thought they were funny. Engage with that, like there's so much stuff that you can do within this that nobody else is doing and there's a huge market for that. And this is how you build like core long-term audience. Like there's this idea that I think stems from like the OnlyFans side of the world, but it's a mistake where it's like you need all these new subs. It's not true, right? Like if you have 1,000 guys, it's hard to get, but 1,000 guys that are like super dedicated guys for your model Yara, and you talk to them about Arsenal stuff, they're never gonna leave. They'll literally be subscribed for fucking 10 years to your model, and they'll renew every month at like $10 or $20 per month, and they'll buy new shit from you at least once per month. Just right there is like $40,000 recurring. Our biggest models that are doing like 100K per month, they have like a core audience of guys that are like diehards and we nurture that, right? If you go to the OFM world, a lot of them, what they're doing is like this burn and churn strategy where they're using free trials or free pages and they're nuking guys in and they're trying to get like $2 a sub and then they're rinsing and repeating. It's because the platform on OnlyFans has become such a fucking disaster with all the spam and trash that you can't even build real relationships in the DMs, right? It's not how you actually build a long-term brand. It destroys the value of the audience. And what I'm trying to teach to you guys is how to build something that can actually nurture long-term, real fucking fans. That's where the big money is. That's where the big money is. Telling you. And so I think you're doing a great job at this. And like what I told you is how you could take it to the next level. Obviously, everything I said requires a lot of effort. You put in that effort, you make more money. New page, but looks pretty good. Need a story. Content looks good. Model looks really good. Everything about this is good. Just keep posting. You got to fix that. Add the American flag to this. Tells Instagram that your model's American. Telling you. I would just keep doing what you're doing. I like this fit girl content a lot though. Like I think you should make a page for that and try to make high quality content for your model and have like a whole page like, you know, you know, Asian fit Barbie, whatever the fuck, something along those lines. I saw this Facebook, but I'm not logged into my Facebook here, so I'm not able to see it right now, Eric. I'll have a look afterwards. I remember this page. It looks good, but it seems you're using like a lot of these like kind of like this is me with like my teacher content, and some of that can kind of come across as stale in AI. Here's like a good page for you to maybe go and learn from this one. This page is making a lot of money and they're growing really fast and they have an incredible brand built out. They came as like a thick goth girl, but you could see with the content, like you can kind of do whatever you want with it, right? So like you could make Emmy into like your own version of like a thick goth or whatever, if you want to. But they are also using some of this content, but they also have a ton of other content that's really good. They're now trying like audio content. Just they're posting volume, like dances, just incredible brand building is happening here. And so like I would go and learn from this, whoever's running the Emmy page, and I would try to take what they're doing and take it over to your page. I know this page was started from zero with no ad spend and it's going really viral. They're doing an incredible job. They also post more on their story, which you can do. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that, but this is what they're choosing to do, which is fine. Um, they have this little touch here, which I kind of like. It just looks like a real brand to me, and I think that she's going to be massive. I think that this model can make $100,000 per month. So I know for sure that this model is having $1,000 to $2,000 days consistently right now. So it's worth learning from. Really, really good branding. Like this is just like not something that's super common, like these like plus size goths, but like I'm literally telling you that guys are coming in and they're fucking dumping money. So like anyone that says, oh, the fat girls don't make money, here's literal fucking proof, like they're printers. It's like you just got to brand them right and scale them properly. I know the Emmy girl has been making some money. I'm not sure how much, but probably not like on pace to do like 30 or 40K months, which this one is, which is obviously an extremely successful model. So I would guess that this model ends up making 100K plus a month at some point this year, especially when we launch like video stuff. They have a lot of effort being put into their page. I'll show you an example. So like I talked about the Valentine's Day stuff. They made their profile photo this, which is like a Valentine's Day theme. On the fan place, we'll go have a look quickly. They added this, which I think is a nice touch. And so this just effort on their part. Like they took an extra 10 minutes out of their day to kind of produce this Be My Valentine thing. And like now when guys come in, like they're coming in with that like Valentine's mindset over the next 2 weeks. Like I made a whole fucking video about this and they did it. And like they're making a lot of money. This is the kind of effort that goes into high quality brands, if that makes sense. You could see that their profile is well set up. They have the photos and the videos, which I've said over and over and over and over and over again how important this is, and people still don't fucking do it. Like we talk about this internally at FanPlace all the time. Like there's an account that's like printing clicks and subscribers, and like they have 20 photos on the feed. What the fuck are you doing? Post more photos, please. It's like your conversion rate's gonna go way up by a lot. Guys are gonna renew more. They're gonna spend more, right? It's like this account is doing everything that they should be doing. And guess what? They're printing. I'm telling you, like, there's a reason that I explain everything how I do in the education. It's because I know for sure that it makes the most money. By the way, they have a 9.99 subscription price. So they're not even doing the $3 subscription and they're making $2,000 a day, just as an FYI. So it shows that you don't need to have these like super low entry prices or free pages. If you go ask any Joe Schmo in the OnlyFans world, there's like a fucking 9 out of 10 chance they're going to tell you they're running free pages because it's the only way to make money. It's not true. It's the only way they know how to make money. Big difference there. Riley White, you posted 3 times. I think this page is kind of like a little all over the place. I wouldn't do this. I would have the backup in the tab for all my links and I would have it geo blocked. You know, this is like probably fine, but like it just, I would like, I don't really know if like any girl would actually write that. The highlights are fine. Like I get what you're doing, but I don't know if it's necessary. Um, you need to just post more. I don't like this at all. Like you should not be posting stuff with like the black borders. I know some big accounts do this, but it's a mistake. So it's just a new account. It seems like the person running this is like a new operator. And like, I don't know how to explain this, but like if you just compare this to like the Faye page, like whoever's running this is just like not as good of a social media manager. It doesn't mean they can't become as good of a social media manager. I know the person running the Faye account was grinding this business for like 6 months, or longer before they finally learned how to do it. They were in my internal operations for a bit. Now they're in the mentorship, being mentored, and like they're obviously getting benefit from that. But it's like they put a lot of effort into learning how to run the pages, and like they're gonna change their life from this for sure. You know what I mean? Like you saw Davino's message, like to the right person, this business is completely life changing, and we've changed many lives, right? So it's worth to learn how to do this, but it requires effort. So like to me, the person running this is like their first time doing this. And like they've made like a ton of mistakes, right? The feed is all over the place. The bio is wrong. The username is questionable. There's no story live. You have these like weird highlights. Everything just like feels off about this page, and that's why it's not going viral. But all those little details, if changed and improved on, it could become very successful, right? That's where you are right now. I recommend going and watching the education and continuing to work as hard as you possibly can because you will get there eventually. It's a process though. Yeah, so you're doing great, Luke. I think that you're doing fantastic. I just, I didn't, like, I just have no idea like what the demos are. We don't have any specific like proof of that working. I just thought it was a good idea. Oh, I like this model a lot. Love this. You got to brand her as a Latina, dude. There's like, there's like fucking money sitting there for you, dude. Holy shit. I think this girl probably when we made her was like meant to be like a probably meant to be like a brown girl, if I had to guess, like a brown girl. Some brown girls can come across as being more Latino like or even being like kind of like black. Like I know for a fact, like from personal experience. Um, this girl, I would say, like, is probably that, but I would brand her as like a Latina girl, and I would go and find like thicker Latina girls and just fucking copy everything they're doing. I like the branding. I would add that to the bio and like make her like US plus something else. Your dreamy, curvy Latina. And then I would just like scale out a lot more content around that. You need to test like viral. Like I think that this kind of content is like a mistake for this kind of brand. I know that it got like more views, but I think it's a mistake. Like what I would do is I would go find like viral examples where you could see like the full figure of the girl, and then I would just fucking test those over and over and over again until you find a winner. And when you find that winner, you post that motherfucker every day. Every day you keep posting that type of content, and this brand will explode. That's what I would do personally. I would also go look at the Faye brand and see what they've had success with and go copy that over to your brand. But I really think that these pages can be huge. What I've seen personally, like with new people signing up to the marketplace, is that basically it's like they don't think about what makes money. They think about what they find attractive. Those are two different things. You know what I mean? Sometimes they're the same, but oftentimes they're different. Faye is a perfect example. Like how many guys in here are gonna like see that model in the marketplace and be like, yeah, that model's gonna make 100K a month one day. I know, by the way, I know for a fact that that model was managed by someone before the current person managing it, and that person did nothing with it. We took it back, gave it to this person, and now this person is doing like 35K a month, which shows it wasn't the creator, it was the operator either not knowing what they were doing or not putting in the effort, right? So to me, like I know you're new here and you just got banned. You need to be careful with like stuff like this, and you need to focus on stuff like this where she's more covered and go find the girls that have been proven successful, have her be more covered, but have her be like thicker and have the full body image in the photo. Brand her as a thick Latina, focus on that content. I really think this page can make a lot of money if you go and do those things. But of course, it's going to require work. You have to start from scratch as you got banned. These girls also are more likely to get banned on social media. So you need to be extra careful with that. Again, if you go look at the Faye page, she's very covered in a lot of the content. Why? Right? Because her body type, like it's gonna lead to more bans naturally. It's part of it. We've had girls in the past, like real girls that we managed, where like literally every fucking platform that they go on, it was just like a guaranteed they would get banned because they're just too sexual. Like they were just like that's just how they were. They were just too sexual. Faye is one of those girls. Your girl is one of those girls, right? But you can make it work if you're smart. That's my feedback. Is there any more pages from people in here that you want me to review? These kind of girls can print too. I guess you're going with Office Girl for the whole brand. I don't necessarily know if you have to do that, Nye. I mean, like you can. I already reviewed Chubby Emmy. You could watch the recording. Um, I don't know if you have to do that, Nye. Like I recommend just having like a normal brand, and then you could run like an office page on social media for that. But anyways, if there's no one else, then I'll probably wrap up the call here soon. Is there any other pages that you guys want me to review? If you're in this call, please post them now. Pretty useful call, I would say. We'll probably get like a version of this up on YouTube, and we'll probably also get a version of this. Or obviously, it's going to be uploaded to the marketplace. Definitely, we're going to like clip this. I've been recording with my other camera here, recording here. I've been recording the audio, the whole 9 yards, so we can make clips for social media for this. Okay, we'll wrap this up here. Are there any remaining questions before I get off screens? Going once, going twice? Nope. Okay. Appreciate the call, guys. Thank you everyone for joining. Hopefully you got value from this. Um, if you have any additional questions, message aicreatormarketplace.com/support, and we will get back to you through that. That seems to be a pretty big success. It's working very well. And I'll be around just constantly working on stuff to try to help you guys make more money. Thank you.